This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.
So today we're actually going to be talking specifically, let's really focus in on physical health and some simple daily activities that people can take away and start doing just to increase their longevity and maybe kind of start dialing into what are your, if you have any keys to longevity.
Oh, definitely. I have many keys to longevity. So yeah, I think that's really let's start from a sort of a bigger picture and then we can work into specifics. Men had a 23-hour work week and women had a 24-hour work week. Men walked an average 25 miles every week, no matter what. That was an average. A little sprinting here and there probably. Women walked an average of 18 miles per week. Again, some sprinting, running for your point. So that tells us a lot right there. That's how we evolved. That's the basic backdrop that's going to sustain life. Now, in today's world, we've got a lot of challenges because, number one, we have a very different environment. We have a ton of pollution, and we'll talk about some of the ways we can defend against that and protect against that down the road. We have pollution on every level, from electrical pollution and radio wave pollution to air pollution, water pollution. But still, in today's world, what we found is that people that have more balance tend to have more health. So what does that really mean? So let's back up to this backdrop of the Homo sapiens lifestyle. And we realize, wow, okay, 100% of their work life was integrated into their exercise. In other words, they didn't exercise for no reason, Dave.
Oh,
they
yeah.
exercised because they had to carry the water jugs to the river, scoop up the water, carry it back to their little cave or hut. You had to get out on the grounds and look for the wildlife and hunt. You had to get to the berries. So everything was integrated. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they weren't just going to the gym and looking at themselves in the mirror. They were actually working.
Right, because if you wanted to live, you were going to be walking those 25 miles and you were going to be hunting during that time. So that's really the key here is we have to start thinking differently because what our society has done, and we could look at it as a giant experiment that we need to learn from, is we've separated all these things out. You go to a workplace where for most people you're going to sit around, maybe on a headset answering calls at a call center, maybe on the phone or on a Skype call with a client, but there's going to be a lot of sedentary living. That's to get the money. See how separate this gets? So that we can then go to the store and buy the food. Now, one thing I love pointing out right about here is the early Homo sapiens hunting, gathering folks had a lot of free time. If you maxed out your week at 23 hours of work, what were you doing with the rest of that time? There was no TV. So that's why things got invented. That's why progress was made, because you could lie there for hours watching the clouds and thinking about how that cloud reminded you of the one that got away on your hunt, and all of a sudden an idea might drop in. Oh, there's a different way you could behave. So we had tons of free time. We were grounded in nature, which helped our brains and our bodies stay well. So fast forward to today, we have a lot of television hours going down, which actually thwarts the brain's progress and development, and we have all our little modalities of life, instead of being completely and perfectly integrated, they're all separate. Wow. So it really does create for a lot of challenges. When you add the whole picture up, you can see why advanced countries like America, as an example, have some of the worst health, if not the worst health on the planet, right? Because we've gone to all these compartmentalized ways of being. And that is a perfect segue into even how our American Medical Association started and how separate from what really was a value that whole movement was.
This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.